you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
The day is October 31st. 18 years ago in 2003, Battle for Bikini Bottom was released. While there was a 3D game before this, BFBB was a very nice representation of the SpongeBob world in a 3D environment, being a playable video game. The Cutting Room Floor, TCRF, houses many behind-the-scenes and unused parts of games, and BFBB was no exception to that. There's a large amount of unused models, dialogues, audio, and so much more. There's also plenty of things you can't see in levels normally, such as triggers to end boss fights, pickups to finish missions for you, objects outside of the normal playing area. Those are just a few of what is on there. As time went on, there were many more eyes on the game, and in 2017, somebody by the username of Yoman has made basic tutorials for the game. These tutorials really only covered changing textures and swapping around levels and music, and some people decided that wasn't enough for them, so they wanted to modify objects directly. Using hex editors, you would be able to change positions of objects to move them around wherever you want. While this was a very long and tedious process, many gave up as they did not want to keep testing the game over and over for such small movements. In 2018, a user by the name of Igor Zebra released Hip Hop Tool. This was a way to rebuild hip and hop files, which are used by the game, to have larger file sizes and work better than the old scripts made many years before that. Later down the line in 2018, Igor Zebra released Industrial Park, a level viewer for Battle for Bikini Bottom. At the time, this tool could only just look at levels behind the scenes and could do nothing else. Across the following months, Industrial Park got dozens of updates which allowed it to actually edit assets, to move them around, change cameras, change how levels work entirely. And it has received tutorials for doing this, but shortly after, more updates happened with the editor, and these tutorials were now showing off a different version of the editor that looks entirely different than what it does at the time of release. Come 2019, there was a few more tutorials showing a more recent version of the editor, but to some they were still confusing and difficult to understand, where people just did not want to mod the game. Since 2019, there has not been any tutorials for just regular level making, only very specific ones, but today that will change. On the 18th anniversary of Battle for Bikini Bottom, I will be releasing a new tutorial series. This series is up to date with the latest version of the editor, meaning you don't have to worry about stuff looking different or behaving different. These tutorials will be able to show you how to go from changing small things in a level to making a brand new level from scratch out of nothing. Many have waited years for simpler tutorials or information on how to make new levels. Now anybody can make whatever they want, whether it is changing existing levels that Heavy Iron has made, or making brand new ones from scratch. You get to decide how to play BFBB.